God says, He wants to talk to you for 2 minutes right now because your pending miracle has been approved. If you open this immediately before 11:59 p.m., you will receive great news, but if you skip, you will miss it. This moment is not a coincidence. This message didn't find you by accident. It was whispered into existence for your heart, because heaven has already begun to move on your behalf, and the door you've been praying for is about to open. Type 2323 if you agree. There are times in life when everything feels quiet, like you're standing in the middle of a long, winding path and the wind has stopped and the sky above seems too still. It's in those quiet moments that God draws nearest to your soul, not with noise, but with peace. He gently leans into the stillness and says, I have seen you. I have heard you. I am with you. His love never slips away, even when everything else feels uncertain. His presence doesn't wait for you to feel worthy, it surrounds you, even now, even in your brokenness, even in your doubt. The journey you've walked hasn't been easy. You've cried tears no one else has seen, stayed strong when your heart was breaking, and hoped when you had every reason to give up. But the God of heaven, who breathed stars into the sky, has never lost sight of you for a single moment. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are held, entirely and lovingly, in the hands of a God who never lets go. Every silent prayer, every sleepless night, every sigh of worry was heard and carried to the throne of grace. God is not late. He is preparing something greater than you imagined, and it's almost here. Type 1111 if you trust in God. God knows how tired you are. He knows the weight you've been carrying and the storms that have tried to wear you down. But He's also the one who has been whispering strength into your spirit, even when you didn't know where your next breath of courage would come from. His grace has wrapped around you in the shadows, and His mercy has caught every tear you've shed. This moment right now is not just another ordinary minute, it is sacred. It's the kind of moment heaven leans into, because the miracle that's been delayed is no longer being held back. It's coming. You have waited faithfully. You have trusted when things made no sense. That kind of faith is not lost on God. He sees the ones who cling to Him with trembling hands and wounded hearts. And He blesses that kind of faith with favor and breakthrough. There is something shifting around you, something powerful and unseen, guided by the hands of angels and the voice of your Savior. Your name is being lifted in places you cannot see. Your story is being written with compassion, with hope, with healing, and the next chapter is filled with joy. God has not forgotten the things He promised you. He has not changed His mind. He has not removed His hand from your life. What He spoke over you in secret is still in motion. The delays were not denials, they were divine timing. Everything that tried to stand in your way will soon be part of the testimony you share, the one where you tell others that God did not abandon you, even when everything else walked away. Your breakthrough is near, closer than you think, already unfolding behind the veil of what your eyes can see. Keep holding on. Keep trusting. The road may have felt long, but every step mattered. Every step brought you closer to this divine intersection, the place where your faith meets His perfect answer. It will come quietly, maybe when you least expect it, but it will be undeniable. It will be filled with peace, with hope, with the kind of beauty that only God can create. And when it comes, it will make sense why you had to wait, why you had to endure, and why the enemy fought so hard to make you stop believing. Let your heart rest tonight, not because the world is perfect, but because your soul knows who holds it. Jesus has never lost a battle, and He's not starting with yours. The healing you've prayed for, the news you've longed to hear, the peace you've been chasing, it's all coming, because your miracle has already been approved in heaven. The notification may not have reached your door yet, but it's on the way, carried by the breath of God, sealed with His faithfulness. You have been walking through life carrying weight that others cannot see, keeping hope alive with quiet strength, and wondering if anyone notices how hard you've been trying. God has noticed. He has watched every step, every tear, every silent moment where you chose to believe even when you could not see. Type 222 if you believe God sees you. There is something beautiful that happens when a soul chooses to trust in the silence, when your hands lift in surrender even though they feel empty. That kind of faith doesn't go unseen in heaven. It echoes through eternity. It moves the heart of God. Your miracle isn't just a reward for waiting, it's a response to the love you've shown in the middle of your struggle. You stayed, even when it was hard. You prayed, even when it hurt. And now, heaven is responding with something holy, something that has your name written on it in grace and gold. You may not understand the delays, but God is never confused about your future. He doesn't forget the promises He whispers in the night. He doesn't overlook the prayers that you whisper through tears. He gathers every one of them, stores them in His hands, and answers them in a way that shows just how deeply He knows your heart. The miracle you are about to walk into is not random. It's personal. It's timed perfectly. And it's carrying a beauty that you never expected, but your spirit always hoped for. A 7-second brain wave ritual, once reserved for elite people and hidden in CIA files, is now public, and people call it the 30-second miracle. Scientists say it awakens a dormant brain center tied to wealth and blessings. Click the link in the comments below before it's deleted again from the internet. Sometimes, when you're waiting, it's easy to wonder if maybe God has changed His mind, or if maybe He's too far away to hear. But the truth is, God has been standing beside you all along. He has walked every inch of this road with you. He has shielded you from pain you didn't even know was coming. He has whispered strength into your spirit in the middle of dark nights. And He has been preparing a moment like this, one filled with peace, filled with goodness, filled with the answer you've been waiting for. Type 555 if you trust Jesus is working right now. Your miracle isn't about luck or coincidence. It's about a Father who loves you so much, He orchestrates everything perfectly just for you. That conversation you had last week that shifted something in your heart, that message you stumbled across that gave you hope, even this very moment right now, it's all part of His divine plan to remind you that you're not forgotten. You're seen. You're chosen. And you're on the edge of something new. The pain you carried didn't go unnoticed. It became the soil for something beautiful to grow. Hold on to that quiet belief deep in your heart, the one that still whispers, something good is coming. Because it is. God has already gone ahead of you and prepared what's next. He has already opened doors that your hands haven't touched yet. And He is guiding you step by step, even when it feels like you're just standing still. The peace you feel right now? That's Him. The warmth brushing against your soul like a soft wind? That's Him. The way your heart is beginning to hope again, even if it's just a flicker? That's Him too. There is no such thing as a life too broken for God to restore. There is no heart too weary for Him to comfort. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. You are not too much or not enough. You are exactly where you need to be for His mercy to meet you. The weight you've carried is not yours to bear alone anymore. God is saying, let me take it now. Let me carry what's been crushing your spirit. Let me replace it with something lighter, something filled with peace. The day is coming, sooner than you think, when you'll look back on this season and realize that God was working even when you couldn't feel it. You'll understand why certain things didn't happen when you wanted them to. You'll see how every delay was actually protection. You'll see how every unanswered prayer was God leading you towards something even better. And you'll feel the overwhelming love of a God who never gave up on you, not even for a moment. He hasn't just been preparing the blessing for you. He's been preparing you for the blessing. He's been building strength into your faith, compassion into your heart, and wisdom into your spirit. And now, the season is changing. The winds are shifting. The clouds are parting. It may not happen in fireworks or lightning bolts, but it will come. And when it does, it will feel like home. It will feel like peace. It will feel like God's hand resting gently on your shoulder, saying, I told you I wouldn't leave you. I told you I had something good coming. Let your spirit breathe in that truth. Let your heart lean into it. God is not just the God of someday. He is the God of now. And this moment is drenched in His love, wrapped in His kindness, and filled with quiet power. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to chase it. You just have to open your heart and receive it. The miracle is already on the way. It's already been approved. It's already carrying your name. You've been waiting, praying, holding on quietly, even when you felt like you had nothing left to give. And still, you didn't let go. You didn't walk away from your faith. You kept your heart turned toward heaven, even when the noise of life tried to drown it out. That kind of faith is powerful. That kind of faith moves God. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. God has been watching over you with more tenderness than you can imagine. Every morning you woke up discouraged but still tried again. Every night you went to bed tired but still thanked Him. Every time your heart broke, but you chose not to let bitterness grow, He saw that. Heaven doesn't measure strength by how loud your voice is. It measures strength by how deeply your heart trusts. And your heart has trusted, again and again, even when it didn't make sense, even when nothing seemed to be changing. This season of waiting hasn't been empty. God has been filling it with preparation. What you see as stillness, He sees as foundation. He has been building something inside you that cannot be shaken. He's been shaping you gently, with love, into someone who can carry the blessing He's about to release. The miracle is not just for a moment, it's for a lifetime. And that kind of gift requires roots, so it doesn't fall apart when the winds blow. That's what He's been doing all this time. Building your roots. Strengthening your soul. Teaching you to recognize His voice in the quiet. You are not forgotten. Heaven has been writing your name into a story of victory since before you even asked. What you thought was silence was really the sound of God working behind the scenes. Every delayed answer, every door that didn't open, every prayer that felt unanswered, it all had purpose. It wasn't rejection. It wasn't punishment. It was protection. It was preparation. It was God making sure that when the miracle comes, it won't just lift your heart, it'll lift your life. Type yes to affirm that your miracle is near. A 7-second brainwave ritual uncovered from sealed records and hidden in CIA files is transforming financial lives. It activates a forgotten abundance channel in the brain, leading to new financial opportunities and cleared debts. Click the link in the comments below before it disappears. There is a moment coming, so close now, when all the pain you carried will be replaced by peace. When all the things you lost will be restored in ways you never imagined. Not just returned, but redeemed. Not just fixed, but transformed. The Lord doesn't bring you out of something just to leave you empty. He brings you through so He can fill you with something even greater. That's what's happening now. That's why you've been sensing a shift, even if you didn't have the words to describe it. That's why your spirit has been feeling like something is near. Because it is. The things you have been praying for, the healing, the breakthrough, the open door, they are no longer just hopes. They are promises. Promises God has already said yes to. You don't have to beg for them. You don't have to try to earn them. They're already yours, sealed by a love that never fails. God isn't holding back to test your patience. He's waiting for the perfect moment to release what's been prepared for you. And when that moment comes, everything will align. Everything will make sense. Everything will come together, not just beautifully, but divinely. The love of God doesn't depend on how perfect you've been. It's never been about performance. It's about relationship. It's about a father who adores his child, who sees your struggles and still calls you beloved. There is nothing you've done that can separate you from His love. Not the mistakes, not the doubts, not the moments you wanted to give up. God is not disappointed in you. He is proud of how far you've come. He's proud of how you've kept going, even with trembling hands. He's proud of how you've continued to believe, even with a broken heart. You've been walking through fire, but you haven't been alone. God has walked every step with you. He's been your strength when you had none. He's been your peace when your thoughts were loud. He's been your guide when the path was unclear. And now, He is about to be your breakthrough. Not because you've earned it, but because He is good. Because His love is that deep. Because He keeps His promises. Because He never forgets His children. So breathe deeply. Let your heart relax. Let the fear fall away. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be for God's plan to unfold. Your miracle is not just coming, it has already begun. The pieces are moving. The answer is forming. The blessing is approaching. You will not miss it. You will not be left out. You will not be overlooked. You are God's child, and He never forgets His own. The sky may not look different yet. The noise around you might still feel heavy. But trust the shift happening in the unseen. Trust the wind of heaven that is stirring things for your good. Trust that what God has started, He will finish. Trust that the same God who carried you this far is about to lift you into something new, something sacred, something filled with hope. God is gently tugging at your soul, reminding you that He has not forgotten your name, your tears, your longing, or your silent prayers. The miracle you've been waiting for, the one you've almost given up on, is already being delivered, step by step, straight from heaven's heart to yours. Type 1919 to receive miracles. In the stillness of your heart, you might have wondered if God was really listening. The nights you cried, the mornings you woke up weary, the moments you whispered, "Lord, please don't let go of me," were all seen and heard. God was never absent. His silence was never distance. It was a quiet preparation. It was the deep work He was doing behind the scenes, where no one else could see, shaping the outcome with wisdom and timing that goes far beyond what we could ever understand. You may have felt forgotten, but you were being refined. You may have felt abandoned, but you were being positioned. It's hard, sometimes, to keep believing when the wait stretches on longer than you thought it would. It's hard to keep praying when the answers don't seem to come. But every second of that waiting has mattered. Not one moment was wasted. In that sacred space between your prayer and the breakthrough, God was shaping you into someone stronger, softer, braver. Someone who could carry the blessing and not be crushed by the weight of it. Someone who could testify, not just about the miracle, but about the one who stayed through the storm. God never promises a life without pain. But He promises His presence through it all. He never promised the road would be easy, but He promised you wouldn't walk it alone. And you haven't. Every time you wanted to give up, but didn't, He was right there. Every time you broke down and still stood up the next day, He was the one holding you together. Every small decision to keep believing, to keep walking, to keep loving, He saw it. And now, He is about to honor it. Heaven has already released what you've been waiting for. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. There is a kind of peace that comes only from knowing God is in control, especially when everything around you feels uncertain. That's the peace He's offering you now. Not peace that depends on the world being perfect, but peace that comes from knowing the one who holds it all. God is not panicked about your future. He isn't unsure. He isn't wondering how things will work out. He already knows. He's already planned it. He's already cleared the path. And where you see obstacles, He sees opportunity for miracles. You've carried so much in your heart, hopes for your family, fears for your future, silent struggles that no one else knows about. But God knows. And He's been walking closely, whispering strength into your soul, giving you just enough grace to get through each day. Now, the season is shifting. Now, the clouds are lifting. Now, the breakthrough is beginning to break through. Not because you begged or earned it, but because you are loved. deeply, eternally, without conditions. Using a simple 7-second brain-wave ritual, once classified and hidden in CIA files, can unlock wealth, freedom, and success already inside you. This discovery is helping thousands step into abundance, and God has led you here for a reason. Click the link in the description and comments below to awaken this money magnet frequency today. What you thought was the end was just the beginning. The place where you thought you'd fall apart was the very place God started to rebuild you. He wasn't punishing you, He was protecting you. Sometimes the no was actually Him saying, "Wait, I have something better." Sometimes the delay was the kindness of a Father who knew the exact moment your heart would be ready to receive. And now, that moment is here. That holy, promised moment when the pages begin to turn and the story takes a new direction. The tears you cried in private will be answered in public joy. The burden you carried alone will be lifted in a way so gentle and perfect that you'll know it could only be God. Your healing is already unfolding. Your breakthrough is not on the way, it's here. You may not see the full picture yet, but every step from now is a step into promise. A step into peace. A step into answered prayer. Let your heart believe again. Let your faith breathe again. This is not the end of the road, it's a new beginning, carved by the hands of the Savior who knows your name and calls you His own. You don't need to figure it all out. You don't need to fight for what's already been approved. You just need to trust, receive, and keep walking, one faithful step at a time. There is something so powerful about surrendering your worries and trusting that God is already working. That kind of trust moves mountains. That kind of faith parts the waters. And it's not the kind of faith that shouts, it's the kind that whispers, the kind that quietly believes in the dark, the kind that simply says, "God, I trust you," and keeps going. That's what you've done. And that's why the miracle is already yours. You won't have to chase it. You won't have to struggle for it. It will come to you in the most unexpected, beautiful way, and when it does, it will bring with it a peace that settles deep into your soul. Because it's not just about what God is giving you, it's about what He's been doing in you. And the two are coming together now, at just the right time, in just the right way, all for His glory and your good. This is not just a hopeful message, it is a divine reminder that heaven is already moving in your favor. You have been walking through hard days, trusting without seeing, and choosing to believe even when your heart has been tired. And now, the winds are shifting. The breakthrough that felt far away is beginning to rise like the morning sun. Type Amen if you believe. God has never taken His eyes off of you. Even in the moments when you've questioned everything, when you've whispered your fears into the night, and when the silence felt endless, He was there. He never stepped away. His love never loosened its hold. He's the God who walks into the very places where pain tries to live and replaces sorrow with peace. He doesn't need the conditions around you to be perfect to begin a miracle, He simply needs your heart to be open, and your spirit willing to trust Him again. Your journey hasn't been easy, and there are things you've been carrying that no one else even knows about. But heaven knows. God knows the strength it took to get up this morning. He knows how many times you've wanted to give up, yet didn't. He sees how you've stayed kind in a world that hasn't always been kind to you. And because of that faith, quiet as it may be, there is a shift taking place. Something is coming that you couldn't have planned for, prayed for in exact words, or even fully imagined, but it's been written into your story by the hand of God. You have been faithful, even if your faith felt small. You've kept going when it would have been easier to stop. And that does not go unseen by the Lord. In fact, it is treasured. Your prayers may have felt unanswered, but they were being stored in heaven. Every tear has been counted. Every sigh has been noticed. Every breathless hope has been captured and kept safe by the one who turns ashes into beauty, and silence into a song of joy. Type 333 if you believe your time is near. God's timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't feel that way. He is not slow. He is precise. He sees the entire picture, while we only see fragments. That moment when you felt things fall apart was not the end, it was the beginning of a better plan being formed. That closed door was not rejection, it was divine redirection. And now, as everything begins to shift, you will start to see how all the waiting was never wasted. It was the soil that allowed your faith to take deeper root, and it was the very place where God planted the beginning of your miracle. You don't have to do anything to earn what's coming. You don't have to prove yourself worthy. God isn't waiting for perfection, He's waiting for surrender. He wants your heart, not your performance. He wants your trust, not your fear. And right now, as you read these words, He is gently reminding you that you are not behind, you are not late, and you are not forgotten. You are right on time for what He has prepared. The answer is already on its way. The door is already being opened. The healing is already beginning. The pain you've walked through may have tried to tell you otherwise, but you are not broken beyond repair. You are not stuck. You are not too far gone. You are deeply loved, fully known, and entirely surrounded by the grace of God. That grace is stronger than the past, greater than any failure, and more powerful than any fear. It's the kind of grace that lifts you up when you feel like you've lost your strength. It steadies your heart when your faith begins to shake. It holds you together when the world tries to pull you apart. A powerful 7-second morning ritual, once hidden in CIA files, is resurfacing, and people are already seeing fast financial breakthroughs. It takes only seconds, yet activates a dormant wealth center in the brain most people never access. Click the link in the description and comments now. Access it before it disappears. God is not waiting for your life to be perfect to bless you. He's blessing you right in the middle of the mess, because that's who He is. He meets us in the valley, not just on the mountaintop. He sits with us in the storm and speaks peace into the winds. He holds our hand when we walk through fire and keeps the flames from consuming us. That's the kind of God who is preparing a miracle just for you. One that fits your life in a way no one else could understand, because it's been crafted specifically for your journey. You may be thinking, but I've waited so long. Yes, you have. And God knows that. That's why what's coming will carry a depth of joy you didn't even know you were capable of feeling. The more difficult the road, the greater the glory at the end of it. Your story is not going to end in disappointment. It's going to end in redemption. The kind of redemption that can only come from the heart of a Savior who sees the beauty in your ashes and has already planned your restoration. So hold on. Stay close to Jesus. Let your heart stay tender, even if it's been bruised. Let your faith remain open, even if it's been tested. Let your soul breathe again, even if it's tired. Because the miracle is not coming in the distance, it's coming now. It's already unfolding. And soon, you'll see it with your own eyes. You'll feel the shift. You'll know in your spirit that heaven really did move for you, and all along, God had this moment prepared. You may not realize it yet, but everything you have been through has brought you here for a reason. The pain, the loss, the waiting, the confusion, it was not in vain. The struggle did not break you. It refined you. And now, the heavens are opening over your life to release what was promised. Type 777 if you are ready for God to move. God has never looked away from you. Not once. Not even when you felt furthest from Him. Not even when you made mistakes or took the wrong path. His love doesn't walk away when you stumble. It surrounds you all the more. It lifts you up when shame tries to speak lies to your heart. It reminds you that you are not defined by your failures. You are not beyond healing. You are still chosen. Still called. Still His. And He is not finished with you. In fact, the most beautiful part of your story is just about to begin. The things you've been praying for in secret, the hopes you tucked away because you were too afraid to keep hoping, the quiet dreams you whispered through tears, God has not forgotten. He has kept every prayer close, every longing safe, every tear in His hands. And now, at just the right time, He is turning those hidden cries into joy that will overflow. The kind of joy that rises from deep within, untouched by circumstance, rooted in the assurance that your life is not overlooked. You are seen. You are heard. You are loved beyond words. God's love is not distant. It's not just for Sundays or quiet prayers at night. It's with you in the chaos. It's there when your thoughts are heavy and your spirit feels weak. It walks with you through every hallway, every hard conversation, every silent drive home when you feel like falling apart. God's love holds your heart together even when it feels like it's breaking. And it gently tells you that the pain you're walking through is not the end. The promise still stands. The miracle is still coming. And it is closer than it's ever been. Type 444 if you believe He's working in your life. There is a calm coming that your soul has longed for. Not a fleeting moment of relief, but a deep and lasting peace that only God can bring. That peace is beginning to rise in your life right now, not because the storm is over yet, but because Jesus is in the boat with you. You've survived this far not because you were never afraid, but because you were never alone. And that same presence that carried you through will now carry you into blessing, into healing, into miracles unfolding right before your eyes. You may be surrounded by questions, unsure of how the pieces will come together. But God is already ahead of you, arranging divine appointments, opening doors no one can shut, and preparing people to pour into your life with kindness and support. The shift is happening. It may start in small ways, unexpected peace, a new connection, a moment of clarity, but these are signs that the miracle is taking shape. Don't rush it. Don't fear it. Just stay close to God, and let His plan unfold. It's okay if you're tired. It's okay if your faith feels small. God isn't asking for perfection. He's asking for your heart. He's asking you to keep trusting, even when the road feels long. And when you do, He responds not with judgment, but with tenderness. Not with demands, but with grace. His love is so gentle, so patient, so unwavering. He walks with you, not just when you feel strong, but especially when you feel like giving up. The miracle God is preparing for you is not only about the change in your situation. It's also about the transformation happening in you. The kindness that has grown in your heart, the compassion you now carry, the faith you've found in hard places, these are miracles too. God doesn't just fix what's broken. He rebuilds it into something better, stronger, and more beautiful than it was before. And that's exactly what He's doing with your life. A simple but powerful 7-second at-home ritual, it's hidden in CIA files for years, is now changing lives rapidly. Backed by neuroscience research, it can begin shifting your financial direction in just days. Click the link in the description and comments now and step into abundance today. There will come a time soon when the weight lifts. When the news you've been waiting for arrives. When what you've prayed for shows up in a way that takes your breath away. And you'll look back and realize that every step, every tear, every quiet prayer was worth it. Because through it all, you were never alone. Through it all, you were being carried. And now, you're being led into a place of peace, promise, and joy. This is not a message of false hope. It is the truth of a loving God who never lies, never leaves, and never changes. He sees you right now. He knows what you need. And He is already responding. You don't need to worry about the how. Just rest in the truth that it's already happening. Heaven has said yes. Your breakthrough has been released. You're stepping into a new chapter, filled with light, filled with healing, and filled with the goodness of the Lord. It is compassion. You may not have felt ready, but God sees what is inside of you, faith that refuses to quit, hope that flickers even in the darkest places, and love that has endured more than words can express. Your miracle is not just coming. It is beginning. And this is the sacred moment where everything starts to shift. Type 1010 if your heart feels this is your time. There are seasons when God hides the bloom to strengthen the roots. You've been in one of those seasons. It hasn't been easy. You've cried behind closed doors, smiled through the ache, and carried burdens silently. You've been faithful in the quiet, steady in the shadows. But what you didn't know is that heaven has been echoing with your name. Angels have been dispatched in response to your persistence, your faith, your tears. The weight you've carried is not forgotten. It's being lifted now. Slowly, surely, softly. You don't need to fight for what's already yours. What God has approved cannot be cancelled by delay or denied by opposition. He sees the whole path. He knows the exact moment when the clouds will break and the light will pour in. And it's near. The shift is not something you will have to strive for, it's something you will step into. Gently. Peacefully. Naturally. Because your miracle isn't just an event. It's a movement of heaven toward your life, surrounding you with answers, grace, and the fullness of His love. You may still see the same problems. You may still feel the pressure. But don't let your senses lead you. Let your spirit lean on what is true. And the truth is this: you are covered by mercy, held by purpose, and surrounded by God's perfect timing. He is not asking you to figure it all out. He is asking you to trust that He already has. Every piece that didn't make sense will soon become part of a beautiful picture. Not because the pain was good, but because God is good. And He can bring beauty even out of ashes. Type 888 if you know God is able. There will be a day, not far from now, when you wake up and feel the difference in the air around you. The weight will feel lighter. The fear will be replaced with peace. And something inside you will just know, it's here. The breakthrough has arrived. The thing you prayed for, the hope you almost let go of, the news you've longed to hear, it will arrive gently, like sunlight through a window, warming your soul with the comfort that God truly heard every word you ever whispered. It won't be loud or forced. It won't come with pressure or chaos. It will come with stillness, with certainty, with peace. Because when God moves, He doesn't need fanfare. He moves with grace, and everything aligns. People you never expected will show up to bless you. Doors you didn't knock on will swing open. What you were chasing will begin to find you. This is not because of luck or chance. It's because your Father in heaven has said, now. It's time. Give my child what I promised. And He keeps His promises. Even the ones you forgot you prayed for. Even the ones you thought were no longer possible. He remembers them all. Every wish, every need, every hidden dream, it's all been kept close to His heart. And now, He is returning them to you, not just as blessings, but as signs of His love. Because you didn't give up. You stayed close, even when the road was long. And that faith, quiet, real, human faith, is more precious to Him than you could ever imagine. You don't have to be perfect to be blessed. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need to pretend to be strong all the time. God knows you. He knows when your heart is heavy. He knows when your strength is low. And He meets you there, not with disappointment, but with compassion. Not with judgment, but with grace. He gently lifts your face, places peace in your chest, and reminds you, you are mine. I've got this. And I've got you. Let this truth rest on you like soft rain. You are loved beyond comprehension. Not because of what you do, but because of who He is. And who He is faithful. He finishes what He starts. He protects what He blesses. He completes what He promises. Your miracle is a reflection of His heart for you. It's not about what you've lost, it's about what's about to be found. It's not about what's broken, it's about what's about to be healed. There is healing for your heart. There is restoration for what was taken. There is peace for the storm that has raged too long. And there is a future waiting for you that carries more joy than sorrow, more clarity than confusion, and more blessing than burden. The next part of your story is not survival, it's revival. It's not more of the same, it's the unfolding of something brand new. And it's already in motion. This moment is not just a pause in your day, it's a reminder from heaven that the miracle is already set in motion, and what is coming will be more beautiful than what was lost. You've walked a path filled with silent prayers and quiet endurance, and now the light is starting to break through. Type 111 if you're ready to receive your breakthrough. What if wealth was never about luck, but a hidden brain signal buried in CIA files? This frequency is opening doors, attracting opportunities, and changing lives quickly. Thousands are already using it to attract wealth like never before. Click the link in the description and comments now and activate the money-attracting brain wave today. So many times, you've looked around and wondered if God was even paying attention. The world felt loud, your heart felt tired, and your hope felt dim. But through every moment, God was closer than you realized. He stood beside you when no one else did. He comforted you in ways your soul needed, even when you couldn't find the words to ask for help. You made it through not by accident, but because grace carried you. And that same grace is about to lift you higher, into a season where joy will flow freely, and the weight you've carried will finally lift. You have been stronger than you know. You've endured more than most people will ever understand. And even when everything in you wanted to give up, you didn't. That quiet strength, that silent faith, was not ignored. God has been honoring that faith by preparing a breakthrough that's uniquely yours. Not a copy of someone else's blessing. Not something vague or distant. But something real, tangible, personal, and full of healing and purpose. He's not just going to restore what you lost. He's going to multiply what's coming. You may not feel it yet. The signs might still seem small. But things are already changing. The shift has already started. And every step you take now is guided by a God who never misses a detail. He's arranging the right conversations, preparing the right people, creating divine timing for things to fall into place. And when they do, it will all feel so natural, so peaceful, that you'll know, this was always God's plan. You didn't miss it. You didn't mess it up. You were never behind. You were always being led, even when the path was dark. Type 999 if you trust God's timing is perfect. You were never meant to carry this journey alone. And even when the weight was heavy, you were being held. When people walked away, when life grew silent, when the doors closed without reason, God stayed. Not for a moment did He let go. And now, He is bringing comfort to your heart in ways only He can. Not with loud promises, but with a quiet peace. A peace that wraps around your soul and whispers, "You made it through." And now I'm about to show you why you had to wait. God never wastes pain. He turns it into purpose. He takes what was broken and uses it to build something new. Something stronger. Something lasting. That thing in your life that felt like the end is becoming the foundation of your next beginning. The prayers you thought were forgotten are blooming in ways you never expected. The blessing may look different than what you imagined, but it will be exactly what your heart needs. God knows you deeply. He sees your heart, your intentions, your desires. And His plan is built for your good. There's a softness returning to your spirit. A lightness growing where fear used to live. That's what hope does. That's what happens when heaven starts to move and your soul begins to feel it. You may not have the answers, but you have the promise. And God has never once broken a promise. Not in the past. Not in your present. And certainly not now. This miracle, it's not just about solving a problem or fixing a situation. It's about showing you that God has always been invested in your life. Every detail. Every tear. Every need. He's not a distant God, watching from afar. He's the kind of God who walks with you through fire and keeps you from being burned. He's the kind of God who shows up right on time, even when it feels like all time has run out. He's faithful. Not sometimes, but always. Your waiting has not been wasted. It's been sacred. Holy. Protected. And now, that wait is turning into answered prayer. That door you kept knocking on is opening. That burden you've carried is being lifted. That silent hope you held in your chest is bursting into light. Not because you forced it, but because God said, now. So breathe. Exhale the fear. Inhale the promise. You are stepping into something greater. You are walking into answered prayer. You are being guided into peace. What's coming will bring healing to places you forgot were hurting. It will bring light into places you thought would always stay dark. And it will remind you that God is not just a promise maker, He's a promise keeper. The most powerful thing you can do right now is believe. Not with loud declarations, but with a quiet yes. A yes in your soul that says, I trust you, God. Even if I don't see it yet. Even if I still feel afraid. I trust you. That kind of faith? That's the kind that moves mountains. That's the kind that heaven responds to. That's the kind that opens the door to miracles. This moment is part of a sacred turning point, a holy interruption to speak truth into the quiet places of your heart. You haven't been forgotten. You haven't been overlooked. And you're not waiting in vain. The answer is already in motion, and heaven is closer than you think. Type 1515 if you know God has not forgotten you. God saw the nights when you couldn't sleep, the days when your smile was hiding exhaustion, and the hours when your prayers were filled with more tears than words. He saw every act of faith, even the ones that felt small. You didn't have to move mountains. He saw you standing still when everything inside you wanted to collapse. That kind of strength, that quiet endurance, that faithful waiting, that's what moves the heart of God. And now, after all you've walked through, He is saying, it's time. A 7-second at-home ritual, scientifically proven by neuroscience labs and hidden for decades in CIA files, is now public, and people are seeing money flow into their lives. Scientists say it activates a brain pathway linked to abundance. Click the link in the comments below before this knowledge disappears again. You've been walking through the middle, the space between promise and fulfillment, where things feel uncertain and the silence feels loud. But that in-between place wasn't empty. It was holy ground. That's where God was shaping you, steadying you, and preparing you. The silence wasn't his absence. It was his hand, working deeply in areas you couldn't yet see. And now, the shift is beginning, not because you forced it, not because you figured it out, but because the time is right. God is never late, and he is never early. He moves with perfect love and precise timing. The miracle isn't just about what's changing around you. It's about what's changing inside you. Your heart has grown stronger, softer, more rooted. You've learned to hear his voice, even when it was just a whisper. You've learned to keep walking, even when the road was invisible. And all of that, every step, every prayer, every silent battle, was preparing you for this next season. One that is not marked by waiting, but by receiving. One that is not filled with questions, but with clarity. One where joy flows freely again. Type 1313 if you're ready for the next chapter. There's a peace coming that will not be shaken. Not by news. Not by people. Not by fear. Because it won't come from circumstances, it will come from the one who holds your heart. That peace is already beginning to grow in you, the kind that says, even if I don't see it yet, I believe. That kind of belief is what opens doors no man can close. That kind of faith is what lifts you above the storm. Not because the wind has stopped, but because your spirit is held higher, steadier, safer in the arms of the one who controls the wind itself. The next part of your life won't look like the last. You're not repeating a cycle, you're stepping into freedom. You're not revisiting old pain, you're walking into healing. There are new things being born in your life. New relationships. New peace. New strength. New opportunities that weren't possible before, because the time wasn't right and your heart wasn't ready. But now the foundation has been set, and what God is building will last. It will not fall apart. It will not be taken from you. Because it's being built by his hand. Even if the world hasn't noticed your quiet strength, God has. Even if the people around you didn't understand your pain, he did. And because he did, he's sending answers that are wrapped in love, provision that's filled with peace, and healing that touches more than just your body. It touches your mind, your soul, your identity. You are not forgotten. You are not broken. You are being restored. God's restoration doesn't just return what was lost, it multiplies it. It takes what was empty and fills it. It takes what was weak and strengthens it. That's what's coming for you. Restoration that makes you say, only God could have done this. Not because it all worked out the way you planned, but because it worked out better. And it will. You're going to look back and thank him for the closed doors, for the delays, even for the heartbreaks, because all of it was leading you here, to this sacred moment where everything begins to change. You are not stuck. You are not forgotten. You are standing at the edge of something holy. The page is turning. The light is breaking through. The story is shifting. God is about to pour out answers that will fill the empty places, light that will chase out the shadows, and peace that will finally let your soul breathe again. Not because life is suddenly perfect, but because God is perfect, and He is present. Right here. Right now. With you. You may have felt tired lately, not just physically tired, but soul tired. The kind of tired that settles into your bones, the kind that makes it hard to hope again. But even in your weariness, you kept going. Even when you couldn't see a way, you kept trusting. And that kind of trust is not empty. It's not forgotten. It's the very faith that opens doors. It's the quiet, unwavering belief that God sees you and will not leave you in this place. And He won't. You are stepping out of the hard season and into a season filled with clarity, comfort, and quiet joy. God has been doing more than you realize. While you were wondering if anything was changing, He was shifting things beneath the surface. While you were waiting, He was weaving. You couldn't see it yet because the roots had to grow first. The foundation had to be laid strong and deep. And now, because your heart stayed close to Him, your spirit is ready to receive what He's been preparing. Your breakthrough isn't coming from the world. It's coming from the heart of the Father who's always known exactly what you needed.